Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our masterclass for today. So looking forward to sharing this stuff with you as always. So we're talking about massive money mistakes that spiritual people particularly tend to make that keeps them from. Let's get my Instagram going, and then we will make a proper start here. Let me just do that. Okay. So, yes, we're going to go through 7 mistakes that you might be making that's keeping you from six-figure business success. I do believe that we spiritual people are called, we are meant to infiltrate the world, basically. Because, yeah, we have a message. We have something we're meant to be saying. We have lives we're meant to change. We have our own lives to change. And I don't believe any of us are ever meant to be caught up doing things that we do not want to do indefinitely. I believe that you are absolutely capable of, of being at work, doing stuff that you love. And if it's not a job, then it's a business that you have chosen. Something, because I know for a lot of us in this community, you've gone through some stuff. You've had experiences, you have skills even that you would love to help other people with. What you're trying to figure out is how can you do what you would like to do and make money doing it. The problem is that you come with all of these weird mistakes that we're going to be talking about today, which stops you from making money doing what you actually want to do. You have accepted that you have to make money doing only what seems acceptable in the world. So you may have a message, but you might think it's a bit too frivolous, it's a bit too irresponsible, it's too much of a pipe dream to think that you can actually make money doing what you would like to do for free. Okay, some of you all are already doing it at church, or you're doing it in your community center, you're doing it with young people. Nobody pays you for any of this stuff, but you're always there supporting, helping people, all that stuff. But you haven't figured out how to actually make money doing it. And there are ways to do that. And today is not specifically about the strategy behind it, though I will tell you what you need. It's more about the mindset, because if you do not get the mind in the right place, it doesn't matter what strategies I give you. Because I teach people how to do this stuff. I teach people how to, go from nothing, just like I did as a pharmacist. I made my transition out to being a pharmacist into being a business owner. And to begin with, I didn't have this. I didn't have the know-how. I I was under the impression that you just sell high, buy low, all of that stuff. But then you actually come and start. You realize that your whole life you've been trained to be an employee, and so here you are trying. Or here I was trying to become a self-employed or a business owner. More to the point, because I was a self-employed pharmacist. But even that is different from being a business owner, where suddenly you are responsible for a heck of a lot more than just showing up on the job and doing your little bit here. No, now suddenly you are the business owner, which means you have to do it all and do it with pizzazz or something. Whichever way, it was a steep learning curve. Yes, I worked with coaches to get the support that I needed, because you don't know what you don't know till you realize you don't know it. And I definitely didn't know what I didn't know. What I did know, however, was that I had tried to be in business before. I call this my pre-children phase and my post-children phase. Pre-children phase, I tried to be in business. I was a pharmacist, though. So I kept falling back on the comfort zone of being a pharmacist. But post-children, after bankruptcy, after 4 years of depression, bankruptcy despite earning more than the average person, basically, and 4 years of depression, then having my 3 children and realizing, Rosemary, if you are actually going to live in your purpose and make money doing so, you're going to need help. You did not become a pharmacist by yourself. Why did you ever think you could just be in business by yourself? Because we somehow do think that we can, though. And I'm not saying that you can't. Some people have done that. But if you spent your whole life training to be an employee, and I don't know, I kind of thought that, well, no, there was, in fact, for quite a period of my time, it didn't even really occur to me that business was an option. It was just that kind of thing that, you'd kind of dabble at. But it was always like, it felt more real to be an employee. So for me, and possibly for you, if you are actually going to make that transition, you need to recognize you need help. Okay, you need to recognize I had to get help. That's how I went from my pre-children phase where I was just dabbling at business to my post-children phase where I got really serious because I looked my girls in the eyes and I was like, you know what? If anything is going to change, if I am going to be able to home educate these children, if I am going to be with them more than anybody else, because you know what, I got pregnant and there was no way I was sending my children to school. I'm sorry. And and if anything's going to change, it's up to me, man. So yes, I was coming out of depression and feeling sorry for myself and thinking of all the fact that I've failed and failed this and blah, 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 all of that nonsense. I finally realized it's on me. I'd known the divine forever. And this is it, spiritual people, guys. Just because you know the divine does not give you um, some kind of excuse, or what's the word? Some free pass, a free pass. Sometimes spiritual people, you think because you're spiritual, you should have some kind of free pass. You don't have to do the regular, normal things that non-spiritual people do in order to grow a business. You don't get a free pass. There are certain things that need to happen for a business to be successful. And if you are humoring, immersed in crazy ideas, which we're going to talk about some of them today, you will not allow yourself to do what is necessary to grow a successful business, and you will wonder why you can't see, because you're successful at lots of things, or at least at the things that it's like I was a successful pharmacist, and the things that I was familiar with, I was successful at church and successful, all of that. But then when it came to doing my purpose work, it was difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it was difficult. It was a whole different way of thinking. And my old patterns of thinking and behavior were sabotaging me. You will hear some of what I'm going to share with you today. Some of it you may have considered, some of it you may not. When you hear it, to be like, oh, is that what I'm doing? Oh, I kind of know what you're talking about, Rosemary, but I just couldn't put it into words. Now, this will support you in moving forward. Interesting. I've just been wondering about improving my landing pages. Well, good. You can't. Sometimes it's practical stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes for spiritual people, you haven't even considered doing landing pages. The fact that you are considering landing pages is a good sign. Okay. For some people, you haven't even done the regular stuff. However, sometimes the reason why you haven't done the regular stuff is because of what's going on in your head. But sometimes, even when you do the regular stuff, because I know for me, I had to learn, because I'm an active person. Most of y'all are, you're hard workers. So I did all the strategy stuff, and still my business wasn't working because it wasn't the strategy as such, the energy I was bringing to the strategy. So if you're coming from a place of trying to prove your worth, the words you will write in content will be different from the words that somebody who already knows that they are worthy of success in business, the words they write will be different. You will both be doing the same work. One will get a great result and the other person does not. And so at some point I had to realize it isn't just about strategy. If anything, actually, practical strategy is like 5 to 10% of it. It still needs to be done. It's an essential 5 to 10%, but it's not the big issue. Because if your underlying foundation, if the paradigm on which you are building that business is flawed, I don't care how much you try to work it, it will not work. And this is why people generally tend to quit in the end, because they tried it, they think anyway, they tried everything and it's not worked. And so then they quit. Hopefully you'll hear some things today that'll help you to start to consider if you are falling into that trap. Okay, so let's carry on. So who is this for? You have to be determined, because you have to be determined, okay? Because if you are going to quit at the first sign of, oh, it's not working for me, just go back to work now. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be blunt with you today, okay? We have to be determined, because sometimes you're going to be trying something and trying it in so many different ways, and it can sometimes get quite frustrating. And if you have the stuff we're going to talk about later going on inside of you, you'll convince yourself that it's because I can't do it. I was having this conversation with my mother actually at the weekend about how some people, we were actually talking about people owning pharmacies, owning actual pharmacy retail shops, retail branches. And she asked, would I ever want to do that? I was like, I don't really want to. But if the people that succeed at it are not the ones that just buy one and then stay stuck in that one, and then they're the pharmacist working it, and they're the owner, and it becomes like they just bought a job. Whereas the ones that are really successful buy a chain. You buy one, you put somebody else in there to do the work, and then you get another one. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying there's a difference between a self-employed person and a business owner. We want to be business owners. Okay, we want to be business owners. Anyway, where was I going with this? I have no idea. Ultimately, this masterclass is for the determined, because yes, you are going to have to pivot until you find the model that works well for you. Okay, you might be someone who is transitioning, like I was. I came out of pharmacy, went into first and foremost property stuff, and then from property started coaching people to do property stuff, and then started coaching people in general business, and then started coaching people to get their business off the ground, clarify their purpose from spiritual people specifically, and do it, and make money whilst living in their purpose. Because I do believe that I do believe that each one of us is like think of a jigsaw puzzle. Each one of us is one of the shapes. But if you try to be something other than your shape, then it's like the world suffers because you did not fill that hole that only you can fill. I mean, the divine will find a way to move forward. You always have free will. But you, for your fulfillment, do the work that you're meant to be doing, okay? And so you might be wanting to transition. You might already be in business. You value your time. You're fed up of trying to figure this stuff out alone. You know, you're ultimately not making the money you would like to make in your business, despite working very hard at it. You tell yourself that you're doing everything, but the money's still not coming. Or you're scared to get off the fence and get going with that business, again, because of some of the things we're going to be talking about today. So you're procrastinating. Let's be done with that. You're planning, but never quite going all in. This will help you to start to understand what is going on in the background of your mind, stopping you from moving forward. I've already told you a little bit of my story, but I'll tell you something else. One of the reasons why I struggled in business was part of my childhood was I was brought up in Nigeria for a big chunk of it. And we used to have armed robbers coming around the house, like practically at least once a year or so. It was freaking scary. They came for money. The thing that, and I tell you this because the thing that did to me was make me afraid of money. Because the meaning I gave that, because I watched people, I watched my mom being beaten up by these armed robbers that will come in the middle of the night, just sleeping peacefully, and then they come into your house and start beating your mother. My father had this car accident, which I had been told that it was somebody had done black magic to him because he was too successful. And I taken all of this stuff on and connected it to my story about money. And so as soon as I would make any money, I would get rid of it as quickly as possible, which is why it was so surprising to me to go bankrupt as a pharmacist. For goodness sake, I was earning more money than I'd ever earned in my freaking life. And I was going faster and faster and faster into debt until I was pregnant with my daughter, my first child. And I just couldn't see a way out except to go bankrupt. It's only in hindsight I start to see how these patterns had developed in me. And some of you have patterns to do with money that you are not realizing how you act. So it's not magic here. It's because you have this weird idea inside of you about money, you act in a certain way. You think it's the only way to act. You think you're being reasonable, but actually what you're doing is sabotaging yourself. Because for me, I know I couldn't allow myself to have a surplus of money because I was afraid. Yeah, childhood. All right, gonna take notes. Yes, determined. Good. Awesome here. Yep, a childhood has such a power. It does. It has such an incredible power on us if we do not reframe it. Absolutely. So anyway, I was having those. I was reacting to the meanings I had given money, and therefore, what I was doing was getting rid of it as quickly as I could. Some of y'all are doing that, but you don't know you're doing it. I used to dabble at business because I couldn't really go full out into it. I was a bit scared of it, blah, blah, blah. Problem, okay? I even joined churches that celebrated poverty because it felt more comfortable for me. Some of y'all are in environments that celebrate poverty, that celebrate brokenness. Everybody around you is moaning and groaning and you just join in, basically. A part of me knew that I didn't want to be broke, but that also made me feel greedy and evil. So then I tell myself that I was too proud and that the divine would never allow me to live my vision. I didn't notice that the reason why I wasn't living my vision was because I wasn't doing anything to live my vision. So, but I would say it's because I'm too proud. It's because the divine doesn't want me to do it. Also, he would have opened doors for me so that I could walk through those doors. And then and now I look back and realize I was being silly. Some of y'all are doing that too, okay? It wasn't until bankruptcy, depression, having my 3 children, having some horrible conversations with the family because I didn't have the money anymore to give anybody, That's when I started to wake up. It's when I really truly realized I was doing this to myself. I was doing this to myself. So yeah, I started to wake up, became a property investor, as I said, then started coaching people on property, started coaching people on general business, started coaching people on spiritual principles that back up the general business strategy, because I realized I can't teach one without the other, because you have to do it all. Okay. So yeah, business coach, Rosemary Online, money minister is what I like to call myself, but ultimately business coach. But I take you through a process. I call it the deliberate millionaire path to peace and plenty. Because I know, and the divine said this to me, the first time he said it to me, I wanted to kill him, but I'll kill the divine. Was business growth is easy, it's simple, it's swift, or it can be, but we make it complicated. Okay. Thing is, we're not usually quite aware of how crazy we're being. Okay. So we keep getting in our own way. I've already said this, you'll think you're doing what you're doing for great reasons, but you're not. It's your crazy money mindset that is sabotaging you. And I really want to help you with that. Ultimately, strategy. This is all I'm going to say about strategy today. To consistently get clients to grow your business online or offline, frankly, same thing. Slight difference is not that much difference, okay? All you need ultimately is a target. Who is the person you'd like to help? What is the problem you're helping them with? You need to know that. You need to be quite clear on that. This is an area where spiritual people jump around. Oh, I want to do this and I want to help the world. Blah, blah, blah. We need to be specific, particularly if you're not making that first 6 figures. Be specific, okay? Number 2, you need some kind of package, some kind of offer, some kind of product that you're selling them that is very clearly linked to the problem that they're aware of having. They are aware of having. I cannot emphasize this enough. They are aware of having it, not just you knowing what they need. They must be aware that they have a problem that they want solving. Okay? I cannot let you spend all your life educating people before they buy anything from you. The choice is yours. Okay, package. Great price. Great price. Sometimes your business is simply not working because the price is bad. Your pricing is bad for all kinds of reasons, which we're going to talk about soon. So you need that. You need a great price. You need some kind of free giveaway so you can start building a mailing list. I would suggest, particularly if you're a service-based person, a free consultation of some sort, particularly if you're not making that first $5K a month. Do the free consultations. Communicate every single day in some way. Use content, use advertising, get your message out there. Go be where your people are and invite them to your world, which is where you start capturing them into your world by getting them onto your mailing list with your free giveaway. All those wonderful landing pages come into play here. You have a landing page where people can sign up for your thing. If it's not converting so well, you need to start having a look to see what's going on with that. What's the conversion rate? How can I improve that? Blah, 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 all of that stuff. Communicate. As I said, so using content, they need to know where to go and sign up for your free giveaway. It's not enough just to put a landing page out there and then wonder why nobody's finding it. You need to actually be sending people there. You need to send people onto your mailing list. And once they're on your mailing list, you need to be inviting them every single day, guys, to have a conversation. If you're not doing this every day, are you in business? It's like somebody having a shop front that says, you know what? I will not open my shop front today because people should know what I'm about. And they should just, find a way to buy from me or something. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way of comparing it to the way some online people, particularly online business owners, can be sometimes. It's this thinking, this feeling that if people wanted what I had, they just know to come and buy it. Or just because I put up a website now, everybody should find me. No, it doesn't work that way, my loves. It doesn't work that way. There's a very active need to get in front of people and send them to where you want them to go. So you need to be quite assertive, quite determined, and quite willing to show up. A lot of spiritual people are not, sometimes because of what's going on in your mind. Okay? So that's all you need to grow a business, really. So if you would every day, I like to say to my clients, communicate, capture, close. Do not go to bed until you have communicated in some way. You've captured people onto your mailing list. Sometimes your social media, but frankly, I wouldn't stop at just social media. I'll be trying to build my mailing list every single day. And you have invited people to buy from you every single day. If you haven't done that, don't go to bed. You need to be consistent with this stuff and do it every day. You can fit it all in about 90 minutes a day. Anyone can find 90 minutes a day if it is a real priority for you. Okay. So moving on though, if you have these money blocks that we're going to talk about soon, you'll distract yourself from doing the simple stuff and you'll make it seem so complicated or completely impossible. For you, it'll be somehow different from everybody else. Oh, I've tried. And then usually people say, I tried everything. I speak to them and it's like, you haven't though. You haven't. You think you are. And that's the thing. You think you are doing everything. But when somebody objective comes to look at what you're doing, you realize you're not. Okay? You'll justify it to yourself while feeling helpless, feeling fed up, feeling, oh yeah, this was it. When I was talking to my mom about these pharmacy people that own single shops and realize that, oh, it's killing them to keep that shop running because it's just them in the shop. They're in the middle of their business trying to make it grow, but there's no time because they're the only person in there, blah, blah, blah. So there are people that own a job, really, even though they would say they're a business owner, but really they just own a job. And then when it doesn't work, they will say, oh, it's the economy. Oh, the NHS didn't want to give me money. Oh, this, that, oh, the other. And I don't want to diminish that because I know that a lot of the statistics tell us 80% of businesses fail. I believe the reason why the only way for you to fail is really for you to stop. I'm not saying that you're not going to have to pivot. You will. But sometimes people, when you haven't really done everything you need to do, you think you have. When it doesn't work, you start thinking about all the things outside of you that could be the problem. You start trying to fix all the stuff out there, but there's some things you can't fix, like economy. You personally cannot fix the economy. You personally cannot fix the color of your skin, basically, or something like that. So if you start quoting those things, then it's like you're telling yourself, I'm doomed. But you're not doomed. It's simply because you've quit on the inside. Don't. It's time to stop the madness. You can get the clients. You can build a business. You can build a business. Not everybody's called to be a millionaire, okay? But everyone that really wants to. The business is not some fancy thing out there that only special people can do. No. With training, you can do it. If you can't do it alone, get help. And that's the thing, isn't it? You wouldn't think a second, you wouldn't have a second thought about trying to get a certification for whatever healing process you wanted to learn. But then when it comes to growing your business, it's like, oh no, you hold back from actually getting the support to move you forward. And it's kind of crazy when we do this stuff. I did this pre-children. I stopped doing this post-children because I got serious. I got serious. And so then things changed. But the decision started within me. Okay, so let's look at some ideas here. Before that, if you're listening to me, you resonate with the work that I do, or you know at this point, having listened to me say it here, that actually I could do with some support. Then listen, we can talk. I do what I call a mentoring session, prophetic intuitive mentoring session. We can talk about your business in it. The link is in my bio on Instagram, or it's around this video, wherever else you might be watching it. Okay. But it is for ambitious spiritual people who are determined to clarify your purpose and to make at least 5 to 10K per month whilst living in it. If that's you, and you've been trying things, or you're about to start something and you just could do with that support, let's have a conversation. But let's carry on here. This is what I know as well. Financial abundance is your divine right. So if you're not experiencing it, one of these 7 things could be affecting you. Okay? Because you do have to claim financial abundance deliberately. It doesn't just drop into your lap. We've unfortunately been so immersed in I don't know, this pervasive idea of scarcity, of lack. So the things that generally tend to naturally fall into your lap is lack and scarcity. If you want abundance, you're going to very deliberately claim it. Okay? So number 1 thing here. I kind of already said this, but I'll say it again. No magic spiritual buttons. Just because we're spiritual, we do not get a free pass. They don't exist. Yes, you can have, and I expect miracles, okay? And you can have a miracle here or there. But at some point, if you want consistent cash flow coming into your business, consistent income coming through into your life, don't care whether it's business or not, frankly, there are consistent things that need to be done. If you're a business owner, I've told you the consistent things that need to be done. It's like deciding, you know what, I want to have consistent wage packet every 2 weeks, but I'm not going to go to work. How is that ever going to work? Of course it isn't. So there's no magic spiritual button. Yeah, manifestation is great. And in fact, I teach you how to do it. In fact, it's one of the first things, because we want to build on a foundation of connection to the divine and using our miraculous power. I do believe we have the power to create wealth that goes beyond just practical stuff. However, I also know that we are divine beings having a human experience. So there's going to be practical things that need to be done. Okay. So for consistent wealth growth, you need a practical strategy as well as partnering it with the internal work. It's a must. So you need to, if you're one of those that are just kind of hoping to manifest a great business, please, yes, yes. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it will manifest with action. Okay? It will manifest with action. There's this thinking behind the whole manifestation and law of attraction thing that you just sometimes there's this vibe with some spiritual people. I don't think any of us in this community, but just in case, if there's a part of you that just thinks that if you just pray enough or fast enough or tithe enough, that success is going to come to you without you doing all you know to do practically, please stop believing the nonsense. And I am an action taker. And even I caught this kind of waiting inside of me. Even though I was doing the practical things, there was also this sense of, well, at some point there'll be a miracle, and then the miracle will just make all the money come. Please, please, please. Check yourself. Check yourself. Who are you waiting for? Because no one is coming. Okay? No one is coming. And I know it's such a subtle thing, what I'm saying here, because there is an element of the miraculous, but it must always be partnered, making sure that you're doing your bit. But I don't want you to veer so far to the other end that you're just working, and not in any way connected to the miraculous. We need to find that balance. Number 2, this idea that if it doesn't manifest, then because we're spiritual people, we start looking for things to heal, we start looking for things to clean and clear. Again, there's an element of truth in that, but you also need to understand. It's like, okay, I shared a little bit about my background, my childhood there, with my father having this car accident and him being told as a child that was because someone did black magic, and me getting this idea in my head that it was because the power of evil was more powerful than the power of good. So I needed to be quite careful with money because if God can't protect me. So, let's just get rid of it as quickly as possible. And I didn't realize that thinking was going on inside of me. Okay. Now I could have spent lots of time when I finally saw it, just praying about it and trying to get healed about it and going to the shaman about it and doing energy work about it and blah, blah, blah about it and write journaling around it. And I did some of these things, not all of them, but I did some of these things. And yet I also still had to take action from this place of now of seeing where I was holding back because of this story I told myself about money, or where I was throwing money away as soon as I got it. I had to notice that that's what I was doing. Sometimes people think that if you just clean and clear and get, start feeling peaceful, that there isn't a corresponding action to be taken. There usually is. Sometimes that corresponding action comes naturally out of the healing. Absolutely. But sometimes it is literally obvious to you. Now that you see that this trauma happened, change your mind. And from that change of mind, decide what you're going to do next. From a clear place, decide what you're going to do next. Because there will always be, again, there's this waiting for, when I clear enough, I'll suddenly hit this moment of perfect clarity, and then my business will work. You are the magic you're waiting for. Do you understand? There's still this feeling of people waiting for something to happen and then everything will work for them. They forget that they are the something that is going to happen. You are the something that's going to happen. Do you understand that? So it's not enough to read all the books. It's not enough to go from this event to the next event, to this healer, to the other healer, to this praying, get this prayer and that prayer and the other thing. Okay. Now just do the work as well. Okay, just do the work as well. Yes, because I still remember, was it 2019 or 28? I don't know, a few years ago, the divine saying to me, Rosemary, healing is one goal. Making money in your business is another one. Spiritual people, we like to connect the two. If I get healed, then my business will grow. No, it's two separate things. It's like, and the divine said to me, Rosemary, if all you keep looking for is to be healed, all you will ever get is healing. And people can be healed and still broke. So if you want a successful business, yeah, heal, but the goal is a successful business which will need strategy as well. Do you see what I'm saying? And do you understand also that there's lots of unclear, unhealed, non-spiritual people making money every freaking day? I mean, even drug dealers are making money every day. So why not you? Because you're busy healing and looking for what is the issue. And I know this whole thing is about, finding all those money mindset mistakes and this and that and the other. I get it. But if all you're doing is looking for all your money mindset mistakes, instead of, okay, I see that there's some kind of weirdness going on and whatever, but so what action is coming out of that? What do I now choose to do? Or saying to the divine, you know what? Dissolve all of that. I'm willing to see things differently. What is the next thing? What is the next thing? Stop judging yourself as well as unworthy, because that's another thing spiritual people do, that you think until you are perfectly clear. And sometimes people even say, oh, I don't want to spiritually bypass. Sometimes that is a bypass from doing the actual work. Okay. Healing is one goal. Making money in business is another one. They're not actually as connected as we like to think that they are. I get it. I get how we can connect them. But actually, some of the work that I'm doing with people, when you come and work with me and remove the blocks, some of the work I'm trying to do with my people is simply to help them stop connecting these two. And the way I have to do it is show them the connections they have made within themselves, and then help them to stop making the connection. Yes, you're going to have to be healed. Yeah, I understand. We're going to get emotional healing and all of that stuff. But that doesn't actually mean that you have to wait until you're emotionally perfect before you make money in business. No, it doesn't. You don't have to be perfect before you're making money in business. As I already said, unclear, unhealed, unspiritual, crazy people are making money. Why the frick not you? And it sometimes feels like the more spiritual somebody is, the less money they make, because of these associations that we make. These associations that we make get in the way of you just making money. You're allowed to just make money in business if you will put a strategy in place and keep following that strategy through. But if you connect things in ways that they should not be connected, you won't allow yourself to make money. Hidden agendas. Number 3. Because you're such a nice, purpose-driven soul, heart-centered soul, you want to help everyone. And so you create lots of good things to help them at really crazily silly prices. As I said, if the pricing isn't right, that can be the simple thing that breaks the business. But then you tell yourself that the divine told you to put silly prices on things. The thing is, everyone likes you. So you're getting likes and shares and comments on your posts on social media, but your income is not growing. You're getting lots of followers, but your income is not growing. You tell yourself that it will one day happen, that you just need to keep going, that the divine is going to break through for you, blah, blah, blah. You're getting more and more tired. You're beginning to doubt your vision. And you're beginning to doubt your work. You're beginning to wonder if actually what you have is good enough. And I got to this point in, I don't know what year it was. And I remember getting to this point. I went for a conference, and then it took a moment away from my business and realized that I was not the problem. It was the people I was the problem, because I had brought these people in, but it was the people that I was bringing in who expected everything for free. And then because they were expecting everything for free, even when I gave it to them because I really wanted them to like me, I would give it to them for free, but they wouldn't do anything with it. And then I'd tell myself it's because the work that I was doing wasn't good enough. And so then I was getting beaten down, thinking that I really wasn't good enough. Obviously, there's something I'm doing. I was associating it in all kinds of stupid ways, until I took a moment and realized, no, it's not me. It's not my work. It's the way I am drawing people in, because I'm coming from this place of trying to get the business to validate me. Your business isn't meant to validate you. Your work isn't meant to validate you. When you go to a job, you're not really looking for the job to validate you, although yes, if you lost it, there's probably a lot of fear because of the money associations. But it's such a different thing. When we're doing our purpose business or purpose work, for some reason, we look for sales in order to validate that our purpose work is worthy. We look for people to like our content in order to validate that the work we're doing is worthy. No. Validate yourself. Validate yourself, and then show up powerfully in the marketplace. Show up powerfully. in the marketplace because you have validated yourself. You know that what you have to offer helps people. Okay? So you need to look at what is your true agenda here. As I said, this is a hidden agenda. Is your agenda actually to be liked, or is it to grow a successful business and, to empower people with that business? Is it just to be liked? And this, again, is one of those things that you can convince yourself that you're going about it right, that people have to like you in order for them to buy from you. No, 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 no. Being nice is not what is required to run a successful business. If you're looking just to be liked by people, you can just be liked and you'll be broke. However, if your focus is to grow a successful business, you might also be liked. But the being liked cannot be the main thing. Empowering people definitely is a goal, but also you must focus on the fact that this is a business and the purpose of a business is to make money. And I know for some of y'all, even listening to me say that, there might be discomfort in you. But if you do not focus on creating money in your business and instead you're focused more on getting more followers, getting more likes, getting more comments, getting more shares, which actually don't help you, they help the social media platform, then guess what you'll get? You get more likes, but you will not make more money in your business. And the likes will stop working to make you feel good after a bit when you're working your butt off and you're still not making money. At some point, you will burn out. And then you'll say, oh, it's because I tried everything and it didn't work for me. No, you didn't try everything. You were coming from the wrong foundation. You wanted people to like you. And they like you. They just will not, doesn't mean they're going to buy from you. If your priority is to be liked, the actions you take will be different. Okay? So you need to look for hidden agendas. Is the reason why your pricing so low is because you want to be liked? Is it actually because you're called to do that? Because I'm not saying that having low prices, it doesn't exempt you from a successful business. There are people that have, $8 memberships or $7 memberships and are millionaires. It's possible. But for a lot of y'all doing that, you're doing it from a place of, I just want people to like me. People liking you is very different from you serving people. Please bear this in mind. People's service is very different from people pleasing. Number 4, putting your debt first. Putting your debt first. This is another money mindset issue for people who buy into the middle class craziness. Okay? Because it keeps you from ever making a start. You keep telling yourself, I need to pay off all my debts first. I need to, all this and that first. And it traps you in a lower income level than you want. Why? Because the world that we live in, it's arranged for you to have just enough to somehow. It's like when I became a pharmacist, I was earning more money, but I was going faster into debt. Yes, from the logic of it is, well, you're obviously spending too much. Yes, I was. But also, it's almost like the system is designed that you will only have just enough to get by. So if you're ever hoping to be in business and you're thinking that at some point you'll have a surplus amount that you could then use that disposable income to start your business or to grow your business or whatever, you're going to be waiting forever. This is how people go to the grave never having done it, because there's always something. They don't even watch Up, that Disney movie, there's a kind of Disney cartoon with the old dude and his wife. They both had this plan that they were going to go traveling, and they kept putting money in a jar to go traveling. But every time that something broke down around the house, they'd have to break open the jar, start the jar again after they repaired the car, repaired the fridge, repaired this. This person needed this, blah, blah, blah. And that's what happens to people. So there you are, or it's debt. Oh, I need to pay off my debt first. To me, that is even another form of people pleasing. Because and it also eats up your energy, because there's a part of you that doesn't want to work your ass off, make lots of money, to then give it off to somebody else. You don't want to do that. And the crazy thing is this: if you would focus on growing your business to a successful level, it'll be easy to pay off your debts. But when you put the debt first and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I just need to pay off all my debts before I do anything else, you think you're being reasonable because that's what the world tells you, but the world is not trying to help you be rich. It's not trying to help you to be financially abundant. It's trying to help you just get by. Do you just want to get by? If you do, then listen to the common man's way of doing things. If you want uncommon success, you better start watching to see what wealthy people do. They do not use their own money to build a business. They don't. They use other people's money, debt, to build. Listen, I am not, before somebody decides to get me to take responsibility for your own financial reason, basically, or reasoning, I am not a financial advisor. I'm telling you what I've done in order to grow things. I said I went bankrupt. I went bankrupt that first time because I was making stupid decisions. I wasn't even in business. I can't even say it was because of business. It was stupid decisions and my inability to say no when I really should have been, because I wanted people to like me. And when I went bankrupt and I was so full of shame, I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't ask for help. I was so ashamed of myself. And it was just me having to deal with it and my immediate husband and, children. And so when I went into debt the second time, it was to build my business. There was focus, there was determination, there was a plan. Or I'm not going to pretend there was some kind of massive plan. There was just a deep knowing inside of me that whatever money I use, it is freaking coming back to me. So that was the plan, the extent of the plan. I didn't know exactly how it was all going to come together. I just knew I was never going to quit until that money came back. I was paying off all everything. And so that's how it worked. The first time I got depressed and lying in bed, just so worried about it. Second time around, I didn't even allow it to bug my mind. It was just like, it's a means to an end. And so I focused on the goal, not to pay debt. That was not the goal. That was an aside that happened as I got to my goal of building a successful business. But again, this was a choice I took full responsibility for. And it was scary. It was freaking scary. I'd gone bankrupt already, honey. The idea of getting back into debt was not appealing to me. But I knew that there was no way. There was no other way. Because I didn't have spare cash. Most people waiting for cash. Oh, I'll wait until I have money. Yeah, you'll be waiting forever. And I didn't want to wait forever. I wanted to bring up my children myself. I wanted to build a business. So I did. I figured it out. You will have to really start to see what you're doing. See what you're doing. Mine is to plant seeds in your head. You need to start thinking through, how does this apply to me? How does this apply to me? Understand that the more people you actually serve, the more money you make. Money comes because you're providing some kind of a service. Yeah, you can get some miracle. That's money, finding money on the streets. I've done that before, find money somewhere. But that's not going to be, as I said earlier, you're not going to get consistent cash flow just by manifesting it. Although it depends on what your definition of manifesting is. Basically, what ultimately, the miraculous money will come in drips and drabs. If you want consistent cash flow, it will be because you partnered practical action with internal work, okay? Get your business working, okay? Then you can pay off debts. Then suddenly your debt just becomes a little small portion of all the money you're making. Whereas when you make the debt the goal, you don't even want to do it. So you don't have the energy to go all in. And you're so afraid all the time, You don't make good thinking, you don't take good action from a place of fear. You just don't. Okay? 5. This whole I should give everything away for free because it's horrible to charge people when they need my help. That's another spiritual way of thinking. Again, are you more addicted to being liked? Are you more used to just giving and giving and giving and giving? When is it do you think that you'll be worthy enough to receive as well? And the other thing I want you to really consider here, spiritual people, come on. And this is sort of, now I'm going to say quite bluntly, you'll probably disagree with me, but I want you to really think about what is going on under this action of, I have to give everything away for free because how can I charge people who need my help? Do you actually understand that every single person is one with the divine, created in the image and likeness of the divine, the same as you? So everyone is powerful in their own right. So it may seem, and you are so used to being the savior of everyone, you are so used to having that savior complex. Do you understand that by having that savior complex where you think that you have to give everything away for you, have to help everyone, because if you don't, then they're what? They're going to die. You are literally saying that they are victims, they are small, they are little, and you are the super powerful one. But you do not think about it that way, but that's really what you're saying. Whereas I believe you are powerful in your own right. Even if you have an issue right now, you are still powerful enough to find a way out of that issue. So I do not need to undercharge or overgive in order to make you, I don't know, to help you, because you are powerful. You are creative. You are able to come up with whatever I decide to charge. If you want to work with me, you can come up with the money because you are created in the image and likeness of the divine. You have the ability to come up with a way of doing it. But if I enable your weakness, you will stay weak. You'll keep believing your own stories about nonsense. And this is it, spiritual people. Are you weakening people when you think you're helping them? It's time to wake up because it's keeping you broke and it's keeping the people that you're supposed to be helping. Let's put a light on because it's getting a bit dark here. The people you're supposed to be helping, it's making them weak too. But you think you're helping, but actually you're enabling and you're helping them to stay weak. Wake up. The divine does not need you to struggle to live in your purpose. And really, people will always find a way to move forward with or without you. If they choose to work with you, then let them pay you. The workman deserves his or her pay. So stop getting in your own way of being paid. Number 6, you may not feel safe with money. I've already spoken about this, why I didn't feel safe with money. And so I just started giving it out as quickly as possible. As soon as I get any money, get rid of it, spend. Basically, I told you, arm robbers, juju, black magic, and all of that stuff. What is it for you? If you find that you don't seem to ever have more than enough, is it because you are getting rid of it as soon as you get it? If you even allow yourself to get is even a bit of a surplus. And you'll keep doing things that prevent money from coming, like refusing to choose a niche market or an ideal client because you'll tell yourself, oh, I want to help everybody. But really, under story is, if I do this, I might be successful. Then I have more money. And then what will happen? For me, and then was, oh, the arm robbers will come and get me again. Or somebody will do some black magic against me. So let's pretend not to know what to do. Let's pretend not to know my purpose. Let's pretend not to. And you can convince yourself of this so completely. Enough. Know that you're safe in the divine. Know that you are fully supported. Okay? It's okay to start putting money aside, to save it for investment. I don't believe in just saving for the sake of saving because that loses money. Basically, after inflation hits your savings, you don't have as much money in there as whatever. So save to invest, but you don't have to get rid of money as soon as you make it. This is how we, my husband and I got a property portfolios because we're able to put some money aside. I finally stopped reacting by getting rid of money as quickly as it came in. You can learn this too. As soon as you start to see what you're doing, you can take authority over yourself, take dominion over your finances. You don't have to spend all your money immediately. Number 7, you may not have any money goals at all. You just have impact goals. So I want to change many lives. I want to build wells and all this. You have lots of impact goals. Because I've spoken to so many people on the phone and I ask them their goals and they can't tell me what their money goals are. And it's almost like I have to force them to say, so yeah, but how much money would you like to make each month? Oh, well, I just really want to change lives. It's not about the money for me. I'm not really motivated by money. I Jerry try and really tie people down at this point because it's like, if you don't have something that you're working towards, usually the reason is either that you don't want to get disappointed. And so that way if you don't choose a goal, then you can never be disappointed. Okay. Or it's because you think it'll make you look greedy if you start talking about money. It's like people trying to justify it, when they finally tell me a money goal, they're trying to justify this because, I really want to help my children. Honey, it is okay to want money because you want money. It's okay. Ultimately, money is just love materialized. It's just divine love materialized. It's okay to have as much of it as you want. But spiritual people, you may not actually believe that. You may think that it's some kind of sign of greediness or it's selfish because if you have more, somebody else has less. Comes from a sense of scarcity. You worry that the divine might not want you to have money. Nonsense. It's all nonsense. Okay. But obviously, if you're on the phone with me, if you're listening to me right now, you do want to make money. You do. But until you allow yourself to make money, money will not find a home with you. Until you get comfortable with the fact that, you know what, I love money. I do. I do. I love what it gets me. I love it itself. You need to get comfortable with that. If you're ever going to have a surplus amount of money, you need to love money itself. Yes, face into whatever issues you have with that so that you stop getting in your own way. You have to love money itself, or else you'll only ever have just enough to meet your needs. Okay. And that's why some of y'all are just in survival mode, because I just love what money will give me. And you think that makes you noble. It makes you stuck in survival because you only ever get just what the money will give you. We want a surplus. We're talking about financial abundance. So in which case you have to love money itself. Yes. Yes. You have to love money itself. Yeah. If you keep treating money like it's some kind of bad thing, why will it ever come to you, my loves? Ultimately, there are 3 levels to money. There's the spiritual level, that is your connection with the divine. There's the emotional and mental level. So there's the mindset stuff, that a lot of what we've talked about today. And then, of course, there's the practical things that need to be done. You need to have all those 3 things working together in order for you to create money. Because some spiritual people, you focus on just working harder and working harder and working harder. But if you have false ideas in place, or some idea that the divine doesn't want you to make money, because for us, our connection to the divine is quite important. So if there's part of you that thinks you're going to be offending the divine by having money, you won't allow yourself to make money. So these false ideas will cause you to take stupid actions, and you won't even notice that you're taking stupid actions until somebody looks at your life. And the problem is that you probably won't even allow anyone to speak into your life because you're so busy doing nonsense. Wake up. Some spiritual people just want to transform their mindset. They're going to get healed and cleared and healed and cleared and healed and cleared and deepen their connection to God. And yes. But no action. No strategy behind the action. They're just kind of flinging this out and hoping that something sticks. But there's no strategy behind it. It's just, hope and a prayer. That won't work either, my loves. That won't work either. Because ultimately, people sometimes seem to think that you can't be both spiritual and rich. You have to choose one. You do not. It is okay for you to be both spiritual and wealthy. Absolutely okay. People that think it's one or the other. I've had people on my some of my posts or whatever just saying, spirituality should not be connected to money, and money is a whole different thing. I always know that people are broke, but it's like, you're not my client, so it's up to you. If you want to keep telling yourself that story despite everything I'm trying to tell you on this page, okay, well, you carry on. Ultimately. Or people just spend all their time trying to appease the divine, thinking that divine has all these hoops that they need to jump through in order for them to finally be blessed, when actually the divine is waiting for you to just take the action that needs to be taken in order for you to make money. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop this madness. You do need a personalized plan that includes all those 3 aspects of money: the spiritual, the mental, the practical. You need all of those 3 working. But how do you get those 3? You do need to invest. To me, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you very clearly. You need to invest in some kind of coaching or mentoring or something, because if you knew how to do it, you'd already be doing it, right? There's obviously something you're missing. Yeah, of course, there might be that you are doing the right things and you just need to wait. But if you don't know that for a fact, if you don't know that, and you will know when you've done all there is to do. And that it's like you've planted the seed, and you've planted the seed. All you're doing now is watching it as it grows. You will know that. If you don't know that, get help, get support, stop messing around. You do deserve financial abundance, but you're getting in your own way. Somebody else, a mentor, a coach, can help you with knowledge, with accountability, can help you identify what is going on in your mind that is caused, and where your actions are coming from. Are they coming from the right foundation or the wrong one? A mentor can help you with that. A coach can help you with that. For me, definitely was the thing that completely changed my life. I went from, as I said, pre-children to post-children me. Pre-children was just dabbling, messing around, dabbling. Post-children, got serious, got determined. But it was a decision I made inside of me. I did not, yes, I worked with coaches. Absolutely, I did. But that the decision to work with coaches came out of the decision to be successful. The coaches did not make me successful. The decision to be successful made me successful. And then I did what I needed to do to be successful, to act in a way that was successful. And for me, that included working with coaches. But it didn't come at a perfect time. Honey, as I said, I was bankrupt, 4 years in depression, 3 young children. My husband and I were just struggling to get by. We freaking had to wake up. We woke up and I got help. I went and paid out 10 grand. I did not have 10 grand. And then I remember that later on, listening to I was at church, listening to a preacher talking about tithing, and I heard the divine saying to me, you need to invest 35,000 in that coach that you've been thinking about working with. And I'm like, what now? I did not have 35,000. But the decision had to be made first. Once I made the decision, the pathway appeared. And it'll be different for everybody. But you have to make the decision first. And that is freaking scary. And then, because it's scary to make the decision, and it's scary to stick to the decision day by day by day. Again, having someone around you to support you, to help you see what is going on, what you're doing. For me, that changed my life. At my lowest points, it was the fact that I had worked with people, or I was working with people that helped me keep going. Because I knew that trying to do it on my own wasn't working for me. So I took the leap. And then within 12 months of that first leap of 10,000 that I did not have, had to borrow, even though I was coming out of bankruptcy and all of that stuff, my credit was short, had to borrow. It was freaking scary. But because I made a decision that I was going to succeed, and that the coach that I was investing in, whatever that coach said to me, I was going to freaking do. And so I did it. Within 12 months, I had got that money back in equity. And also, I won this Porsche Boxster. And that Porsche Boxster, I became Businesswoman of the Year. And within 6 months of that, people treat you differently when you have a Porsche Boxster. I'll tell you that for now. Show up in your Porsche Boxster, everybody wants to give you business. Definitely it helped me. So, but you don't know what's going to, you don't know the doors that will open just simply by you making the first step. But most people are waiting to know all the A to Z before they do A. It doesn't work that way. This is a faith walk. It is a faith walk, and it starts with the decision that you make within yourself that you are never quitting until you succeed. In fact, it's not even that you're never quitting until you succeed. The decision is just to succeed. The decision is to win and to keep going all the way through. It is to build that resilience. I'm sure there's a resilience coach somewhere. A resilience, that emotional resilience that keeps going. For me, it's connected to my connection to the divine. Is what I teach my clients. When you know you're taken care of, what have you to be afraid of? All right, within 12 months and within 18 months, within 12 months, I made the money back from investment. Within 18 months, I was able to leave pharmacy and all of that stuff. And I gave you my registration, but now I want my registration back. Put letters behind my name. I don't need them, but I want them. So I might put myself back on the register. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, where was it? Yeah. So ultimately, I made that choice to invest, and you may need to make that choice to invest. Personally, I think if you've been struggling for any kind of length of time, then get help. Get help. Get help. Get help. Move heaven and hell to get help. Get help. That's it. Talking directly to someone else who's gone through the stuff that you're going through it's so much better than talking to people who have no idea. Most of you are talking to other employees. Being an employee is like a whole different nation, a whole different country from being a business owner. It's like a whole different, you're just in two different planets. And usually employees are trying hard to be business owners while still acting like an employee. It won't work. It can't work. It can't. And you don't know you're doing it because you really think that what worked for you in your career is supposed to work for you in business, and it doesn't. And you don't know it because you're busy listening to other employees who haven't made it in business, so they have no idea what is required to succeed. Wake up. You need someone who's walked the path, who can help you navigate the nonsense. Anyway, I could keep talking forever. If you're ready to actually move forward, if you're ready to have an objective viewpoint, I do these one-off sessions, at the moment. They're called prophetic, intuitive mentoring sessions because it's you, me, and the divine. We're having a chat. You can talk about business, we can talk about anything. But because we're here talking about increasing your money, come with that particular issue in mind. Let's see what's getting in your way. Let's look at your business if necessary. We have 50 minutes together. We can focus on something. You will leave that session with a very clear step-by-step plan that isn't just me talking at you. It's you, me, and the divine for reals. Okay? I don't do, somebody actually got on the phone with me once, said, you don't do cards and this and that and the other. I was like, no, I do not read cards. I don't do any of that stuff. It's intuition based. It's me and the divine. It's me and God, whatever you want to call it. And you will know that what I'm saying resonates with you or you want. It's up to you. But when you come into that session, you will leave that session with a very clear plan on what you need to do to move forward. So if you're done with struggling alone, you would like input, let's have a conversation. If you're on Instagram, the link is in my bio. It's for the prophetic intuitive mentoring session. If you are anywhere else, the link is around the video somewhere. Wherever the description is, there'll be the link in there. Go get your spot. Generally, the pricing on these sessions goes up every so many people. So I think it's every 5 people or so. I put the price up. So right now is the lowest it will ever be for you. So move your butt. Move your butt. Get a session. It's a one-off session. Doesn't mean you're going to work with me for the next 20 years or anything like that. It is incredibly accessible at this time. Get your session. Link in bio, link around video, depending on where you're listening to me from. Until the next time, my loves, listen to this over and over again. Hear what you might be doing that is getting your own way. It's time for you to move forward. You are very welcome, Nina Prua. I'm glad that you liked this. It was a pleasure to do it with you guys. Until the next time, my honeys, much amazing, amazing love. Go forth and prosper. Bye.